Do you apologize honestly when you do something wrong or when you hurt someone's emotions, for example? Or you say sorry all the time for everything, even if it's not your fault? Let me give you some examples when you don't need to apologize, and I will explain why it's okay. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Mystery Teachings. My name is Gergő. I hope you are doing awesome and amazing. And if you are new to the channel, then welcome, greetings, and namaste. Or if you are a returning viewer, a returning beautiful soul, then hey, thanks for coming back. I appreciate you. And welcome to episode number 38. 5 examples when you don't need to apologize and why it's okay. So first and foremost, what is an apology? The definition of the word is an acknowledgement of a mistake, regret, or asking forgiveness for some fault. This is quite straightforward so far. So we're only humans, right? And we all make mistakes, whether we want or not. We do that, or maybe sometimes we hurt people's emotions, but not intentionally. And it's a healthy thing to apologize for these things and saying sorry. But there is a common thing which is called over-apologizing. With other words, saying sorry all the time when you absolutely shouldn't do that. And it's quite common actually, although it shouldn't be, and it's not good because it has bad consequences. So for example, if you say sorry all the time for really everything, then that might strengthen other people's belief or thoughts about blaming you or about being bossy over you, for example. Or they're gonna think that, oh, this guy always makes mistakes, guy or girl, depends, always makes mistakes, for example, because you just say, oh sorry, and or as I call it, like you apologize for being alive. That's not okay. That's not healthy, and also it's not good for your self-esteem and your self-confidence. So the way I look at this is that the real power of an apology is in its sincerity. If it's honest, and if you really did some mistake, or you did something you shouldn't, or you regret, really and honestly, and you say sorry for it, that's okay. That has the real power, and that's what you should do, and we all should do. But over apologizing is not okay, and let me give you 5 examples when you absolutely don't need to apologize. Number 1 is quite simple. When it's not your fault. Simple as that. And here is an example. I heard this from someone I learned from, and I would call him a friend. And one of his speeches, he said that try this one thing. Go to a supermarket, get a trolley, and go inside and choose someone who also has a trolley, not a basket, obviously, and intentionally push your trolley towards that trolley and hit the other trolley with yours. Obviously, be careful and don't cause any harm or injury to anyone, but if you just do it carefully, but hit one trolley with the other, and you will realize that they will say sorry. I tried this a few times, and every single time I did it intentionally, but carefully, and they looked at me and oh, sorry. They didn't even move. and it's crazy. Or another example, when you walk in not a big supermarket, but in a smaller shop, like a corner shop, and there's a small place between the shelves, and you wanna walk next to someone, and they standing there, they checking the items, and you wanna pass them, and they say sorry. I never understood it. So that's just a few examples. So when it's not your fault, why should you apologize? And we do that all the time. Try the supermarket example and you will see. For example, if there's something your family member has done, should you apologize for it? No. Something your child has done, should you apologize for it? I would say, I don't have children, but my opinion is that if a child does something wrong, you can nicely and politely explain to them why it's not okay or why it's a wrong thing and how to apologize kindly and honestly. And I think that's a healthy way of teaching a child, you know, when it's okay and when it's not okay. And when they become adults, they will have a healthy habit and they will know the difference between a sincere, honest apology or over apologizing and saying sorry all the time. But for example, if your dog is doing something, then yeah, that's a different story. But something that has nothing to do with you, you shouldn't say sorry for it. And we do that all the time. So that's why it's number one. And it's important. When it's not your fault, you do not need to apologize. Number two is when you have spoken your mind. So we are all unique, we are all individual, you have your own opinion, and you should never apologize for being straightforward or for expressing your opinion. But obviously don't be rude. And it's okay to have a different opinion or saying what you really think. For example, if I have a conversation with someone about, let's say, climate change, and I say that, sorry, but my opinion is that I believe that it's a complete hoax and I don't believe it's true. And maybe you who are watching this, maybe you disagree with me right now, and maybe you think that climate change is a real thing and a real issue. But I have my own opinion and you have your own opinion as well. So none of us should apologize for having our own opinion. Obviously, it's just an example, but actually, I do believe that it's a freaking hoax, but that's just another story. So obviously, but don't be rude when you express yourself, as I'm not rude when I express myself, even if it's completely different, or I am someone who usually go against the crowd completely. So I am usually the black sheep in these kind of situations. And it's okay for me. I'm okay with that because that's who I am. And you should do the same. So it's okay to have a different opinion and saying what you really think, because it's actually being in integrity with yourself. What is integrity? Saying what you think and doing what you say. These two things. And that's actually very good for your throat chakra, which is all about communication. And your throat chakra can be activated or reactivated or simply balanced, and make sure that it works on 100% where it's meant to be and how it's meant to be if you live in integrity with yourself. So saying what you think and doing what you say. So never apologize for having a different opinion, having your own opinion and expressing yourself, as long as you are not rude and as long as you are honest and you say what you really think. Simple as that. That's number two. Number three is when you react differently to what other people expect. So again, you're an individual and you might handle things differently or you might do things differently than other people. For example, you can feel emotional or not emotional over something that other people feel, differently, or maybe they feel a certain way that you cannot resonate with. Just simply cannot resonate with, and they expect you to react this way or that way, or you should feel this way or that way. But if you don't, that's okay. That's absolutely fine. And they might feel that, oh, you're acting the wrong way or you're reacting the wrong way, or they might think these things, but that's their feelings and their emotions and their thoughts, not yours. That's super important. So, when you react differently to what other people expect, it's okay and you shouldn't apologize for it. That's number three. Number four is when it's out of your control. So, for example, you have a delayed train or you have a cancelled flight and you cannot get to your appointment or to your meeting in time. It's not your fault because there is nothing you could have done to make that train arrive on time or that flight not being cancelled. It's out of your control. And maybe you want to offer an explanation of what happened, but you shouldn't apologize and you don't need to apologize because it's out of your control, right? Or you can do it differently and you can say, for example, thanks for being patient, thanks for waiting for me, I appreciate it. Just saying thank you for it, and that's a different thing, but you don't need to apologize as long as you are honest. If you just use it as an excuse that, oh, I was late because, traffic and things like that, that's not honest. So be honest. But if you really had a delayed train or you really had a cancelled flight or anything else, and you give a honest explanation, then you don't need to apologize for it because it was out of your control. Simple as that. Don't apologize for it. That's number 4. Finally, number 5 is very simple. When you are being yourself, you definitely shouldn't apologize for it because, we live in a society where people have different expectations of who you should be, what you should say, what you should do, and so on and so forth. But as long as you are honest, you are being in integrity with yourself, and obviously you're not faking yourself, you're not putting on some mask and just acting a certain way which is not you. As long as you are honest and being yourself, you don't need to apologize. In fact, be proud of who you are. Be proud that you're individual, you're unique, you have your own opinion, your own belief system, and so on and so forth. Because you are unique, you are individual, you are amazing, and you are a beautiful soul. So never, ever apologize for being yourself, as long as it's honest. Obviously, I can't emphasize it enough because that's important, and again, it's important for our throat chakra as well. Speaking honestly, speaking with respect, and not being rude, obviously, that's super important. But being yourself should be number 1 for everyone, and you should never apologize for it. And I really do hope that you got some value from this video, so it was worth it to record it. Obviously, feel free to share it, hit the like button, and make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can get notified whenever I upload a new video. I love you all. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you next time. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.